It was a dark and eerie night as SCP-682 found itself deep inside a mysterious cave, its red eyes glowing with a fierce determination. Suddenly, out of the shadows, appeared a giant purple-eyed corrupted spider, its cosmic eyes sparkling with malevolent power. The monstrous arachnid wasted no time in launching a series of powerful leg attacks at SCP-682, who retaliated by using its bladed tail to strike back at the creature. The giant spider, undeterred by the attack, used its glowing purple eyes to regenerate its 8 legs, making them stronger and sharper than ever. As the two creatures clashed, the spider began to focus its energy on its sharp pins, creating glowing purple trails that it used to stab at SCP-682's back. The burning purple web strands emitted by the spider's body burned away at SCP-682's skin, causing the creature immense pain. But SCP-682 was not one to back down easily. Roaring with fierce defiance, it unleashed massive green energy waves that sent the corrupted spider flying backwards. However, the spider quickly recovered, using all 8 of its legs to break and stop itself. It then opened its mandibles, revealing sharp metallic fangs that pierced through SCP-682's tough skin, injecting cosmic toxins into its body. As SCP-682 struggled to remove the venom from its wounds, the corrupted spider continued to heal and regenerate from the attacks it received. The two monsters clashed relentlessly, their bodies battered and bruised from the intense battle. The clash between SCP-682's bladed tail and the spider's sharp metallic legs unleashed shockwaves that shattered the cave's interiors, creating a chaotic scene of destruction. Despite their injuries, SCP-682 and the corrupted spider continued to fight, their powers matched in a deadly dance of death. As their final clash sent shockwaves reverberating through the cave, both monsters collapsed on the ground, their multiple eyes closed in a moment of stillness. The once fearsome adversaries lay motionless and lifeless, their battle finally coming to an end. The cave was now eerily silent, the only sound the soft echo of dripping water. The air was thick with the scent of blood and burnt flesh, a testament to the fierce battle that had taken place. As the dust settled, it was clear that neither SCP-682 nor the corrupted spider would be rising again. In the end, their clash had been nothing short of epic, a thrilling showdown between two unstoppable forces. And though the cave lay in ruins, the memory of their battle would live on as a testament to their unyielding power and determination. And so, the tale of SCP-682 and the corrupted spider came to a dramatic close, their final battle forever etched into the annals of supernatural history. Words. As the giant corrupted spider and SCP-682 faced off inside the dark and dreary cave, sparks flew as the two monstrous beings clashed with all their might. You think you can defeat me, you oversized arachnid? SCP-682 taunted, its razor-sharp tail ready to strike. The giant spider with its cosmic purple eyes let out a deafening screech as it lunged forward, its 8 legs moving in a blur of motion. Its glowing eyes emitted an eerie light, illuminating the cave in a purple hue. I will crush you, reptile, and feast on your flesh. The spider hissed, its fangs gleaming in the dim light. SCP-682 dodged the spider's attacks with incredible agility, using its bladed tail to slice through the arthropod's legs. But the spider's eyes glowed brighter as it regenerated its limbs, making them stronger and sharper than before. The spider focused its energy on its pin-like legs, using them to stab at SCP-682's tough skin with deadly accuracy. SCP-682 roared in pain, but its green energy waves burst forth, sending the spider flying backward. The two monsters continued to battle, each healing and regenerating from the other's attacks. The spider's mandibles opened wide, revealing its metallic fangs as it delivered toxic venom into SCP-682's body. But SCP-682 fought back, using its own energy to purge the venom from its wounds. The clash of their final blow sent shockwaves rippling through the cave, shattering the walls and ceiling around them. Both monsters stood panting and exhausted, staring at each other with hatred in their eyes. But before either could make another move, they collapsed to the ground, lifeless and still. The cave fell silent as the corrupted giant purple-eyed bat swooped down, its glowing eyes without pupils staring at the fallen creatures before soaring away into the night sky. The cave lay in ruins, the bodies of SCP-682 and the giant spider unmoving and silent. The battle had ended, but the memory of their epic clash would linger in the darkness forever. Words. 341. Deep within the dark, damp caves of an undisclosed location, SCP-682 found itself facing off against a formidable opponent, a giant purple-eyed corrupted spider. This monstrous arachnid had developed cosmic purple eyes that glowed with power, enabling it to generate increasingly strong leg attacks. As the two creatures clashed, the giant spider used its sharp pins to stab at SCP-682 while the latter retaliated with its bladed tail. The purple glow of the spider's eyes intensified as it regenerated its 8 legs, making them stronger and sharper than ever before. With each leg attack, SCP-682 felt the sting of the cosmic venom that the spider injected into its tough skin. However, SCP-682's own green energy allowed it to remove the toxic substance from its body, preventing any lasting damage. The battle raged on, with both monsters sustaining injuries and regenerating from each other's attacks. The cave shook with the force of their clashes, causing rocks to fall and walls to crumble. As the fight reached its climax, a final clash between SCP-682's tail and the spider's legs unleashed a massive shockwave that shattered the cave's interior. Both creatures, exhausted and battered, stood motionless in front of each other, their multiple eyes closed in a moment of stillness. The silence was broken by the arrival of a giant purple-eyed mammalian bat, its glowing eyes without pupils staring at the fallen monsters before taking flight into the night. As the bat disappeared into the darkness, the lifeless bodies of SCP-682 and the giant corrupted spider lay on the ground, their once fierce battle now at an end. The eerie glow of their multiple eyes had faded, leaving them motionless and devoid of life. In the aftermath of the cataclysmic battle, the cave lay in ruins, a silent witness to the fierce clash between two powerful entities. The air was heavy with the scent of blood and decay, a testament to the violence that had unfolded within its dark confines. As dawn broke over the horizon, casting a pale light into the shattered cave, a sense of unease lingered in the air. The memory of the battle between SCP-682 and the giant corrupted spider would forever haunt those who ventured into the depths of the cave, a reminder of the dangers that lurked in the shadows. And so, the story of the epic confrontation between two monstrous beings came to an end, leaving behind only silence and the echoes of their fierce battle. The cave remained a solemn monument to their clash, a testament to the power and ferocity of the creatures that had once roamed its dark corridors. Words. In the depths of a dark and ominous cave, two formidable creatures faced off in a battle that would shake the very foundations of reality. SCP-682, a fearsome and near-invincible reptilian entity, found itself pitted against a giant purple-eyed corrupted spider of immense power and malice. The cavern was filled with the sound of clashing limbs and roars as the two monstrosities fought with a ferocity that seemed to defy imagination. The giant arachnid, its cosmic purple eyes glowing with malevolent energy, unleashed a barrage of power leg attacks that threatened to overwhelm SCP-682. But the reptilian beast was not so easily defeated. With a flick of its bladed tail, SCP-682 slashed at the spider's legs, causing it to stumble and fall. However, to the horror of SCP-682, the giant spider's eyes glowed even brighter as it regenerated its 8 legs back, stronger and sharper than before. As the corrupted spider concentrated its glowing purple trails on the tips of its legs, it lunged at SCP-682 with a flurry of stabs, leaving deep wounds in its tough reptilian skin. But SCP-682 was not one to be taken down so easily. With a mighty roar, it unleashed massive green energy waves that sent the spider flying backward, crashing to the ground with a resounding thud. Undeterred, the corrupted spider opened its mandibles, revealing sharp metallic fangs that pierced through SCP-682's skin, injecting cosmic toxins into its body. But SCP-682, with its own inner energy reserves, fought back, purging the venom from its wounds and continuing to battle against the relentless arachnid. With each clash, the cave trembled and shook as shockwaves reverberated throughout the chamber. The walls crumbled, rocks tumbled, and the air crackled with raw power as the two monsters fought with all their might. But as the dust settled and the echoes faded, both SCP-682 and the giant spider lay motionless on the ground, their multiple eyes closed and lifeless. The battle had taken its toll on both creatures, and now they lay defeated, their once formidable powers drained and spent. As the silence settled over the cave, a strange entity, a corrupted purple-eyed mammalian bat, with glowing eyes devoid of pupils, emerged from the shadows. It stared at the lifeless bodies of the fallen monsters before taking flight and disappearing into the night. And so, the once fierce and terrifying combatants lay still, their eyes dark and empty, their power extinguished in a final, cataclysmic clash that had rent apart the very fabric of the cave. The thrill of battle had come to an end, leaving only the silent echo of their last, fateful encounter. Words. 446. As SCP-682 and the giant corrupted purple-eyed spider faced off inside the cave, the atmosphere crackled with tension. The two monstrous beings circled each other, each waiting for the other to make the first move. "You think you can defeat me, you abomination?" SCP-682 growled, its voice a deep rumble that echoed off the cave walls. The giant spider hissed in response, its cosmic purple eyes glowing with malevolent power. It scuttled forward, its 8 legs moving in a blur as it prepared to strike. SCP-682 lashed out with its bladed tail, aiming for the spider's legs. The arachnid deftly evaded the attack, its eyes glowing brighter as it regenerated its damaged limbs. As the spider lunged forward, SCP-682 emitted a roar that sent green energy waves crashing towards its opponent. The spider was thrown backwards, sliding on the ground before coming to a stop. But the spider wasn't finished. It unleashed burning purple web strands that seared SCP-682's skin, forcing the creature to break free and retaliate with its own regenerative abilities. The two monsters clashed in a deadly dance, their attacks and defenses constantly evolving as they tried to gain the upper hand. The spider used its sharp metallic fangs to pierce SCP-682's tough skin, injecting cosmic toxins into its body. But SCP-682 fought back, using the green energy within itself to purge the venom from its wounds. The battle raged on, each monster refusing to back down. Their final clash sent shockwaves reverberating through the cave, shattering the surroundings as both creatures collapsed, exhausted and defeated. The multiple eyes of SCP-682 and the giant spider closed, their lifeless bodies lying still on the ground. As the cave fell silent, a giant corrupted purple-eyed mammalian bat appeared, its glowing eyes fixed on the fallen monsters. Without a sound, it flew away into the night, leaving SCP-682 and the spider to rest in peace. The darkness of the cave enveloped them, their multiple eyes now dark and lifeless, a testament to the fierce battle that had taken place. And in the stillness of the night, only the echoes of their final clash remained. Words. As the battle raged on inside the dark, ominous cave, the ground trembled with the force of SCP-682 and the giant corrupted spider's clash. Metal screeched against metal as SCP-682's bladed tail slashed through the air, aiming for the arachnid's legs. The spider, with its cosmic purple eyes glowing brighter than ever, countered with powerful leg attacks, each strike generating waves of energy that reverberated through the cave. Your puny attempts to defeat me are futile, SCP-682 roared, its green energy pulsating with each word. I am eternal, unstoppable. The corrupted spider hissed in response, its 8 legs moving with unnatural speed and precision. As SCP-682 aimed a decisive blow at the spider's legs, the arachnid's eyes glowed with an intense brilliance, and in a flash of light, its severed legs began to regenerate, sharper and more powerful than before. You underestimate me, reptile, the spider hissed, its mandibles clicking menacingly. I have power beyond your comprehension. With a swift movement, the spider unleashed a barrage of burning purple web strands, aiming to sear away SCP-682's tough skin. But the reptile was not so easily defeated. With a mighty roar, SCP-682 summoned its green energy waves, sending the spider hurtling backwards. The corrupted spider landed with a resounding thud, using all 8 legs to steady itself. It then opened its mandibles wide, revealing sharp, metallic fangs that pierced through SCP-682's skin, injecting it with cosmic toxins. But SCP-682's own energy fought back, purging the venom from its body with a burst of green light. The battle continued, each monster healing and regenerating from the other's attacks. The bladed tail clashed with the metallic legs, creating shockwaves that shattered the cave's interior. Dust and debris filled the air as the monsters stood face to face, their chests heaving with exertion. Finally, with a final clash, SCP-682 and the corrupted spider collapsed, motionless and lifeless. The cave fell silent, the only sound the echoing footsteps of the purple-eyed, glowing bat that had been watching the battle unfold. Such power, the bat whispered to itself, its eyes fixed on the fallen monsters. But in the end, even the mightiest fall. With a flap of its wings, the bat soared into the night, leaving behind the still bodies of SCP-682 and the giant arthropod. Their multiple eyes, once filled with fierce determination, now stared blankly into the darkness, a silent testament to the brutal battle that had taken place. The cave remained dark and silent, the remnants of the battle scattered around the lifeless monsters. In the distance, the purple-eyed bat disappeared into the night, leaving the echoes of the clash to fade into the shadows. Once adversaries, now forever still, SCP-682 and the corrupted spider lay together in a final, eerie peace. Words. In the depths of the dark and eerie cave, SCP-682 found itself facing off against a giant oversized purple-eyed corrupted spider. The monstrous arachnid had developed cosmic purple eyes that seemed to pulse with power, as it unleashed increasingly powerful leg attacks upon the formidable reptile. SCP-682, known for its resilience and adaptability, wasted no time in defending itself. With a swift movement of its bladed tail, it aimed to strike at the arachnid's legs, hoping to take it down. However, the giant spider's glowing purple eyes only seemed to grow brighter, allowing it to regenerate its 8 legs back, stronger and sharper than ever before. As the corrupted giant spider focused its energy on its sharp pins, it began to emit burning purple web strands that singe away at SCP-682's tough skin. The reptile roared in defiance, using its green energy waves to break free from the spider's hold. The two monsters clashed in a fierce battle, each displaying remarkable regenerative abilities. The corrupted mega spider opened its mandibles, revealing sharp metallic fangs that pierced through SCP-682's skin, injecting cosmic toxins. But SCP-682 was not one to be defeated easily. It used the green energy within its body to purge the venom from its wounds, continuing the fight with determination. Their final clash created shockwaves that shattered the cave walls, sending debris flying in all directions. Both monsters stood panting heavily, their eyes locked in a fierce gaze. But soon, exhaustion took its toll, and they collapsed to the ground, motionless and lifeless. As the dust settled, a giant corrupted purple-eyed mammalian bat appeared, its glowing eyes devoid of pupils. It surveyed the lifeless bodies of the two monsters before flying off into the night. The once ferocious SCP-682 and the giant monstrous arthropod now lay still, their multiple eyes dark and lifeless. The cave remained silent, the only sound being the faint flutter of the bat's wings as it disappeared into the darkness. The thrilling battle between these two formidable creatures had come to an end, leaving the cave in ruins and the fate of SCP-682 uncertain. But one thing was clear, in the world of the anomalous and the unknown, nothing is ever truly over. And who knows what other dangers lurk in the shadows, waiting to challenge even the strongest of beings. Words. 394. As SCP-682 and the giant corrupted mega spider faced off inside the dark cave, their battle was filled with intense energy and power. The monstrous arachnid towered over SCP-682, its cosmic purple eyes glowing brightly with malicious intent. SCP-682 growled, its massive bladed tail slashing through the air towards the spider's legs. The spider, however, was quick to react, using its newfound power to regenerate its limbs with even greater strength and sharpness. The creature retaliated by focusing its purple neon-lit glowing trails on its sharp pins, stabbing at SCP-682's back with ferocious speed. But SCP-682 was not so easily defeated. It roared, unleashing massive green energy waves that sent the corrupted mega spider flying backwards. The spider slid to a stop, its 8 legs digging into the ground for support as it prepared for another attack. With its mandibles now fully extended, the spider lunged at SCP-682, piercing through its tough skin with sharp metallic fangs. Cosmic toxins seeped into SCP-682's wounds, but the resilient creature used its own energy to fight off the venom, refusing to succumb to the spider's attacks. The battle raged on, with both monsters continuously healing and regenerating from each other's blows. The clash of their colossal bodies sent shockwaves rippling through the cave, shattering the very walls around them. As the dust settled, both SCP-682 and the giant corrupted mega spider lay motionless on the ground, their eyes closed in death. The darkness of the cave enveloped them, their powerful forms now still and silent. But as the night wore on, a new threat emerged, a giant purple-eyed mammalian bat, its glowing eyes devoid of pupils, watching the fallen monsters with curiosity. With a flap of its wings, the bat flew away into the night, leaving behind the lifeless bodies of SCP-682 and the giant arthropod. In the end, the cave stood silent and empty, a testament to the fierce battle that had taken place within its depths. And as the moon cast its eerie glow over the scene, the fallen warriors remained unmoving, their once mighty forms now nothing more than lifeless husks in the darkness. Words. 364. As the battle between SCP-682 and the giant corrupted mega spider raged on inside the dark cave, the echoing sounds of their fierce clash reverberated through the cavern walls. I will not be defeated by a mere arachnid. SCP-682 roared, slashing its bladed tail at the giant spider's legs, causing it to stumble backwards. The giant spider, with its cosmic purple eyes glowing brightly, let out a hiss of defiance as it quickly regenerated its damaged limbs, making them even stronger and sharper than before. It then focused its purple neon-lit glowing trails on the tips of its 8 legs, preparing to strike back at the formidable reptile. With a swift motion, the corrupted mega spider lunged forward, aiming to pierce SCP-682's tough skin with its sharp metallic fangs. The venomous toxins seeped into SCP-682's wounds, causing it to roar in pain. But SCP-682, determined to emerge victorious, used its green energy to purge the cosmic venom from its body, refusing to succumb to the spider's attacks. The two monstrous beings continued to clash relentlessly, each one trying to gain the upper hand in the fierce battle. As they grappled with each other, the cave trembled and shook from the force of their clash, causing the walls to crumble around them. The air was filled with the deafening sounds of their fierce battle as they unleashed their full power against each other. Finally, with one final clash, the two monsters unleashed a massive shockwave that shattered the entire cave, sending debris flying in all directions. Both SCP-682 and the giant corrupted spider stood facing each other, panting heavily as they gazed at each other with fierce determination. But their strength had been depleted, and with a final gasp, both monsters collapsed to the ground, their multiple eyes closing as they lay lifeless and motionless. Meanwhile, high above the cavern, a corrupted giant purple-eyed mammalian bat observed the scene with glowing eyes, silently watching as the two once powerful beings lay defeated before it. With a flap of its wings, the bat flew off into the night, leaving behind the lifeless bodies of SCP-682 and the giant corrupted spider. And so, the once thriving cave now lay in ruins, a testament to the epic battle that had taken place within its depths. The darkness of the night shrouded the lifeless forms of the fallen monsters, their formidable powers now nothing but a distant memory in the ancient cavern. Words. Deep within the dark and eerie cave, SCP-682 found itself facing off against a monstrous and corrupted foe, a giant oversized purple-eyed mega spider. The immense arachnid, with its cosmic purple eyes shimmering with power, unleashed a barrage of leg attacks towards SCP-682. The reptilian entity retaliated by using its bladed tail to strike at the spider's legs, causing it to stumble and fall to the ground. However, to SCP-682's astonishment, the giant spider's eyes began to glow even brighter, as it regenerated its 8 legs back, stronger and sharper than ever before. The corrupted arthropod then focused its glowing purple eyes on its sharp pins, emitting neon-lit trails as it prepared to strike at SCP-682's vulnerable spots. The spider unleashed burning purple web strands, searing away at SCP-682's skin, causing the creature to roar in agony. But SCP-682 was not without its own formidable powers. It unleashed massively oversized green energy waves from its roar, sending the corrupted mega spider flying backwards momentarily before it came to a stop with all 8 legs bracing against the ground. The two monstrous beings continued to clash, the spider constantly healing and regenerating from SCP-682's attacks, while SCP-682 managed to regenerate from the spider's assaults as well. As the battle raged on, the giant spider opened its mandibles wide, revealing sharp metallic fangs that pierced through SCP-682's tough skin, injecting cosmic toxins into its body. However, SCP-682 tapped into the green energy within itself, purging the venom from its body. The two entities clashed furiously, their final collision unleashing shockwaves that shattered the cave's interiors, sending debris flying in all directions. After the dust settled, both SCP-682 and the giant corrupted spider lay motionless on the ground, their multiple eyes closed and lifeless. The once fearsome adversaries now still and silent, their battle coming to an abrupt and unexpected end. As they lay there, a giant purple-eyed mammalian bat with glowing eyes observed them before flying away into the night. The dark and eerie cave was now filled with an eerie silence, the aftermath of the intense battle that had taken place within its depths. The lifeless bodies of SCP-682 and the giant spider served as a grim reminder of the danger that lurked within the shadows. As the night stretched on, the cave remained a haunting and foreboding place, a testament to the epic clash that had taken place between two formidable creatures. Words. 400. The cave was shrouded in darkness as the two monstrous creatures faced off against each other. SCP-682, the infamous reptilian creature known for its resilience and adaptability, stood ready to defend itself against the giant oversized purple-eyed corrupted mega spider. The spider, with its cosmic purple eyes glowing brightly, advanced towards SCP-682 with a menacing aura. SCP-682 let out a low growl as it raised its bladed tail, ready to strike at the arachnid. The spider, however, seemed unfazed as it used its powerful legs to generate increasingly powerful attacks. As the two creatures clashed, the cave trembled with the force of their movements. "You cannot defeat me, reptile," the spider hissed, its purple eyes gleaming with malice. SCP-682 responded with a roar of defiance, slashing at the spider's legs with its tail. The spider let out a screech of pain as it fell to the ground, but to SCP-682's surprise, the spider's eyes began to glow even brighter. In a flash of light, the spider regenerated its legs, making them stronger and sharper than ever before. The corrupted giant spider let out a series of clicks and chitters as it focused its glowing eyes on SCP-682. Purple neon-lit trails appeared on the tips of its legs, indicating its intent to strike. Before SCP-682 could react, the spider lunged forward, stabbing its sharp pins into the reptile's tough skin. SCP-682 roared in agony, but its body began to glow with green energy. With a powerful surge, it expelled the cosmic venom from its wounds, pushing the spider back. The two monsters continued to clash, each one healing and regenerating from the other's attacks. As the battle raged on, the cave began to crumble around them. Rocks and debris fell from the ceiling as the monsters clashed with incredible force. The sound of their roars echoed through the cavern, creating a cacophony of destruction. Finally, in a final clash of titans, SCP-682's tail collided with the spider's metallic legs, unleashing a shockwave that shattered the cave interior. The two monsters stood panting, their eyes locked in a moment of silent confrontation. Then, with a final gasp, both creatures collapsed to the ground, their multiple eyes dark and lifeless. The cave fell silent, the only sound the echo of their final battle. As the dust settled, a new presence entered the scene. A corrupted giant purple-eyed mammalian bat hovered in the air, its glowing eyes surveying the lifeless bodies of SCP-682 and the mega spider. With a flap of its wings, it flew off into the night, leaving the fallen monsters behind. And so, the cave was left in ruins, a testament to the epic battle that had taken place within its depths. The lifeless bodies of SCP-682 and the corrupted mega spider lay still, their once fierce eyes now empty and devoid of life. The end of a battle, but perhaps not the end of the story. The creatures of the night had clashed, but what other horrors lurked in the shadows, waiting to emerge and continue the cycle of destruction and chaos? Only time would tell. Words. 500. In the heart of a prehistoric landscape, two formidable theropod dinosaurs, the Giganotosaurus and Carcharodontosaurus, stood facing off against the infamous SCP-682. These massive carnivores were unlike any others, with glowing purple cosmic eyes that held the power of fire within them. Their jaws could breathe purple flames, akin to dragons, making them a force to be reckoned with. As the fierce battle began, SCP-682 wasted no time in launching its bladed green glowing tail at the theropod duo. The sharp blades scratched the bodies of the Giganotosaurus and Carcharodontosaurus, but to everyone's surprise, their glowing purple eyes started to heal and regenerate their wounds almost instantly. The cosmic power within them was immense. The corrupted theropod duo retaliated by breathing streams of purple fire at SCP-682, engulfing the creature in flames. However, SCP-682 was not to be underestimated. It emitted waves of green energy from its roar, pushing back the purple-eyed dinosaurs and sending them flying. Undeterred, the Giganotosaurus and Carcharodontosaurus continued to unleash their powers, emitting purple energy waves from their roars to clash with SCP-682. The ground shook with the force of their collisions, creating shockwaves that reverberated throughout the entire area. As the battle raged on, the glowing purple eyes of the theropod duo grew brighter and more intense. They concentrated their energy on their tails, delivering devastating tail swipe waves at SCP-682. The clash of energies created massive shockwaves, leaving the landscape scarred and smoking. Finally, after a brutal exchange of attacks and counterattacks, the combatants stood facing each other, panting heavily. The light in their eyes faded as they collapsed to the ground, exhausted and defeated. The battle had taken its toll on all of them, rendering them motionless and lifeless. The once fearsome creatures now lay still, their cosmic powers spent in the epic showdown. The prehistoric landscape bore witness to the aftermath of the clash, a crater marking the site of the intense battle that had taken place. And in the silence that followed, the echoes of their fierce struggle lingered in the air, a testament to the power and determination of these ancient beings. As the sun set on the battlefield, casting its golden light over the fallen giants, one thing was certain, the legend of the glowing purple-eyed theropod duo and their epic clash with SCP-682 would be remembered for generations to come. The sun was setting over the ancient prehistoric landscape, casting a golden glow over the towering Giganotosaurus and Carcharodontosaurus as they roamed the land with their glowing purple cosmic eyes shining brightly in the fading light. These once fearsome predators had been corrupted by a mysterious force, imbuing them with the ability to breathe fire from their massive jaws. As the duo wandered through the dense jungle, their fiery breath lighting up the night sky, they suddenly caught sight of a massive creature lurking in the shadows. SCP-682, a creature of unimaginable power and destruction, stood before them with its bladed green glowing tail twitching in anticipation. The Giganotosaurus and Carcharodontosaurus knew they had to tread carefully around such a formidable foe, but their newfound powers gave them a sense of confidence they had never felt before. With a roar that shook the earth, they charged at SCP-682, their purple eyes locked on their target. As the two sides clashed, the ground trembled beneath them as SCP-682 lashed out with its bladed tail, slicing through the air with deadly precision. But the fire-breathing theropod duo were quick to react, using their glowing eyes to heal and regenerate from the creature's attacks. With a mighty stomp from their massive clawed feet, the Giganotosaurus and Carcharodontosaurus sent shockwaves rippling through the ground, causing SCP-682 to stumble back. And as they unleashed streams of purple fire from their jaws, the creature was engulfed in flames, its roars echoing across the jungle. But SCP-682 was not one to be taken down easily. With a deafening roar, it emitted green energy waves that pushed back the theropod duo, sending them flying through the air. Yet the purple-eyed predators were undeterred, emitting their own waves of energy that clashed with SCP-682's powerful attacks. The battle raged on, each side unleashing a torrent of power that lit up the night sky with flashes of light and fire. The ground beneath them was scarred and torn, the landscape forever changed by their ferocious clash. As the final collision between them sent shockwaves rippling through the air, the entire area was engulfed in smoke and debris. The Giganotosaurus, Carcharodontosaurus, and SCP-682 stood facing each other, panting heavily as they assessed the damage they had wrought. With a final, exhausted sigh, they all collapsed to the ground, their bodies motionless as the light in their eyes faded away. The land around them was silent, the echoes of their battle lingering in the air as night fell over the ancient landscape once more. The Giganotosaurus, Carcharodontosaurus, and SCP-682 lay side by side, their once fierce rivalry now silenced by the stillness of death. And as the stars glittered overhead, a sense of peace settled over the land, the echoes of their battle fading into the night as nature reclaimed its domain once more. Words. The sun was setting on the prehistoric landscape, casting an orange glow over the towering figures of Giganotosaurus and Carcharodontosaurus. The two massive theropods stood side by side, their glowing purple cosmic eyes shimmering in the fading light. SCP-682 is near, Giganotosaurus growled, its voice deep and rumbling. Carcharodontosaurus nodded, its jaws dripping with purple fire. We must be ready for whatever comes our way. As if on cue, a shadow loomed over them. SCP-682, the infamous reptilian anomaly, had arrived. Its bladed green glowing tail sliced through the air, aiming for the vulnerable bodies of the two fire-breathing theropods. Giganotosaurus roared in defiance, using its glowing purple eyes to heal and regenerate from the relentless attacks of SCP-682. Carcharodontosaurus matched its companion's ferocity, unleashing purple flames from its jaws to engulf the approaching anomaly. But SCP-682 was not easily defeated. It emitted green energy waves from its roar, pushing back the theropod duo with a force that sent them stumbling backward. The ground trembled beneath their massive feet as they struggled to regain their footing. We must combine our powers, Giganotosaurus bellowed, locking eyes with Carcharodontosaurus. With a synchronized roar, the two theropods unleashed a devastating wave of purple energy, colliding with SCP-682 in a clash of titanic proportions. The resulting shockwave sent shockwaves rippling across the landscape, creating a crater that swallowed everything in its path. As the dust settled, all three combatants lay motionless on the scorched earth. Their glowing eyes flickered and faded, the battle finally taking its toll on their powerful bodies. We have failed, Carcharodontosaurus whispered, its voice filled with defeat. Giganotosaurus shook its head, determination shining in its fading eyes. No. This is not the end. We will rise again, stronger than before. And with that final vow, the once mighty theropods closed their eyes, their bodies still and silent. The echoes of their battle lingered in the air, a testament to their fierce courage and unwavering resolve. As night fell over the prehistoric landscape, a new chapter began, one filled with mystery, danger, and the promise of redemption. The legacy of the fire-breathing theropod duo would live on, forever etched in the annals of time. Words. 3. In a world where ancient dinosaurs roamed freely, two powerful creatures, the Giganotosaurus and Carcharodontosaurus, possessed glowing purple cosmic eyes that gave them the ability to breathe fire like dragons. These fire-breathing theropods were feared and respected by all in the prehistoric landscape. One day, a sinister entity known as SCP-682 crossed paths with the fire-breathing duo. SCP-682, a massive reptilian creature with a bladed green glowing tail, was notorious for its ruthless nature and unrelenting strength. The corrupted purple-eyed theropod duo knew they had to face off against this formidable foe. As the battle began, SCP-682 lashed out with its bladed tail, slicing through the bodies of Giganotosaurus and Carcharodontosaurus. But to everyone's surprise, the glowing purple eyes of the fire-breathing theropods began to heal and regenerate their wounds almost instantaneously. Undeterred, the duo unleashed their fiery breath and massive stomps, engulfing SCP-682 in purple flames. SCP-682 retaliated by emitting green energy waves from its roar, pushing back the purple-eyed theropods with incredible force. The two sides clashed, each using their unique abilities to gain the upper hand in the intense battle. The shockwaves from their collisions shook the entire prehistoric landscape, creating chaos and destruction on a massive scale. The corrupted fire-breathing duo used their glowing eyes to concentrate their powers, delivering devastating tail swipes and claw attacks to SCP-682. The clash of energy and power between the creatures was mesmerizing, with the glowing purple flames contrasting against the green energy waves of SCP-682. As the battle reached its climax, a final collision between the creatures unleashed a surge of power that created a massive crater in the land. Both the purple-eyed theropods and SCP-682 stood panting, staring each other down before collapsing to the ground, their eyes dimming as they lay motionless and lifeless. The once vibrant and chaotic battle had come to a sudden and eerie end, leaving behind a scorched and desolate landscape. The power and ferocity of the fire-breathing theropods had finally met their match in SCP-682, a creature as relentless and unstoppable as they were. And so, the prehistoric world fell silent, with only the lingering echoes of the epic battle between these mighty creatures remaining as a testament to their strength and willpower. The prehistoric landscape was illuminated by the glowing purple eyes of the Giganotosaurus and Carcharodontosaurus, two massive carnivorous dinosaurs with the ability to breathe fire like dragons. Their fiery breath lit up the night sky as they prowled the land, their powerful jaws ready to unleash their deadly flames. But their peaceful night was soon disrupted by the arrival of SCP-682, a formidable creature with a bladed green glowing tail that could slice through even the toughest of opponents. The corrupted purple-eyed fire-breathing theropod duo knew they were in for a fierce battle as they faced off against the monstrous SCP-682. The clash began with SCP-682 using its tail to slash at the Giganotosaurus and Carcharodontosaurus, leaving deep gashes in their tough hides. But the fire-breathing theropod duo were not easily defeated, as their glowing purple eyes allowed them to heal and regenerate from the vicious attacks of SCP-682. In retaliation, the Giganotosaurus and Carcharodontosaurus unleashed a barrage of stomps and fire breath attacks, engulfing SCP-682 in purple flames. The creature roared in anger, emitting green energy waves that pushed back the theropod duo, causing the ground to shake beneath their feet. Undeterred, the corrupted dinosaurs continued to unleash their powerful attacks, their glowing eyes intensifying with each strike. They focused their energy on their tails and jaws, delivering devastating blows that sent shockwaves rippling through the landscape. As the battle raged on, the clash of energy between SCP-682 and the purple-eyed theropod duo created a spectacle of light and sound that could be seen and heard for miles. The earth trembled beneath their feet, and the air crackled with energy as the two forces collided with incredible force. But as the fight reached its climax, both sides began to show signs of exhaustion. The Giganotosaurus and Carcharodontosaurus stood panting, their glowing eyes fading as they struggled to stay on their feet. SCP-682 roared one final time, its green energy enveloping the battlefield in a blinding light. And then, as quickly as it had begun, the battle came to an end. The Giganotosaurus, Carcharodontosaurus, and SCP-682 all lay motionless on the ground, their bodies still and lifeless. The once glowing eyes of the dinosaurs were now dull, their sharp teeth and claws no longer radiating with light. The prehistoric landscape was now quiet, the only sound the gentle rustle of the wind through the trees. The aftermath of the battle left a crater in the earth, a testament to the fierce clash that had taken place. And as the sun began to rise on the horizon, casting a soft light over the fallen creatures, it was clear that the battle between the Giganotosaurus, Carcharodontosaurus, and SCP-682 had come to a dramatic and final conclusion. The once great dinosaurs and their formidable foe now lay in stillness, their epic struggle forever etched into the annals of prehistory. Words. The sun was setting over the prehistoric landscape, casting an eerie glow over the massive forms of the Giganotosaurus and Carcharodontosaurus as they stood, their glowing purple cosmic eyes locked on their next opponent, SCP-682. The ground trembled beneath their feet as they prepared for the epic battle that was about to unfold. Giganotosaurus let out a low growl, its massive jaws opening to reveal rows of razor-sharp teeth. "We will take down this abomination, brother," it said to Carcharodontosaurus, who nodded in agreement. The two dinosaurs shared a bond forged in fire, their glowing purple eyes reflecting their determination. As SCP-682 approached, its green glowing tail lashing out towards them, Giganotosaurus and Carcharodontosaurus sprang into action. Dodging and weaving, they used their immense size and strength to evade the attacks, their glowing eyes shimmering with power. "Let's show this beast the true meaning of fear," Carcharodontosaurus roared, sending a blast of purple fire from its jaws towards SCP-682. The flames engulfed the creature, but it roared in defiance, its green energy waves pushing back against the onslaught. Giganotosaurus stomped its massive clawed feet, sending shockwaves through the ground as it charged towards SCP-682. The two creatures clashed, their power colliding in a spectacular display of light and energy. SCP-682's bladed tail slashed through the air, its green glow cutting through the purple flames surrounding the theropod duo. But Giganotosaurus and Carcharodontosaurus were not so easily defeated. They focused their glowing purple eyes, channeling their power into their attacks. With a mighty roar, they unleashed a wave of purple energy that cut through the smoke and debris, striking SCP-682 with pinpoint accuracy. The battle raged on, each side refusing to back down. SCP-682 used its bladed tail to clash with the glowing teeth and claws of the corrupted theropods, the sound of their collision echoing through the air. The ground shook beneath their feet, the shockwaves from their attacks causing the landscape to tremble. As the fight reached its climax, the intensity of their power reached new heights. The clash of light and energy created a blinding spectacle, the force of their attacks creating a massive crater in the earth. And then, in a moment of stillness, the combatants collapsed to the ground, their glowing eyes fading to black. The silence that followed was deafening, the only sound the breeze rustling through the trees. Giganotosaurus and Carcharodontosaurus lay motionless, their bodies still and lifeless. And in the center of the crater, SCP-682 also lay dormant, its green glow dimmed. As the last rays of sunlight faded from the sky, a sense of peace settled over the battlefield. The fire-breathing theropod duo had faced their greatest challenge and emerged victorious, their power now a thing of legend. And in the darkness, a new chapter of their story began. Words. 476. In the vast, prehistoric landscape, two powerful creatures stood face to face, their glowing purple eyes shining with intensity. The Giganotosaurus and Carcharodontosaurus, both massive carnivorous theropods, were known for their fire-breathing abilities, a trait that set them apart from any other dinosaur. Their cosmic eyes glowed with a fierce fire element, and they could breathe flames from their jaws like dragons. As the two giants roamed the land, they came across a creature unlike any they had ever seen. SCP-682, a fearsome entity with a bladed tail and a reputation for destruction, stood before them. The purple-eyed theropod duo knew they had to be cautious, but they were not ones to back down from a challenge. With a roar, SCP-682 launched itself at the Giganotosaurus, its green glowing tail slicing through the air with deadly precision. The massive dinosaur roared in pain as the bladed tail struck its body, but its glowing purple eyes immediately began to heal the wounds. Seeing its companion in trouble, the Carcharodontosaurus charged at SCP-682, its jaws open wide to unleash a stream of purple fire. The flames engulfed the creature, causing it to roar in anger and pain. But SCP-682 was not so easily defeated. It emitted green energy waves from its roar, pushing back the theropod duo and sending them flying backwards. Undeterred, the Giganotosaurus and Carcharodontosaurus continued their assault, using their glowing eyes to generate oversized stomps and fire breath that completely covered SCP-682 in purple flames. The ground shook with the force of their attacks, and the air was thick with the smell of smoke and burning flesh. As the battle raged on, the creatures clashed with ferocity, each one determined to emerge victorious. The purple-eyed theropod duo emitted energy waves from their roars, while SCP-682 used its bladed tail to clash with their sharp teeth and claws. The shockwaves from their collisions rippled through the landscape, creating chaos and destruction wherever they went. In a final, desperate attempt to defeat their formidable foe, the Giganotosaurus and Carcharodontosaurus concentrated their energy, focusing their glowing trails on their tails, teeth, and claws for the most powerful attacks yet. The resulting collision was catastrophic, creating a massive explosion that shook the earth and sent shockwaves reverberating for miles around. As the dust settled, all three creatures lay on the ground, their bodies motionless and lifeless. The light from their eyes had vanished, leaving behind only a sense of emptiness and loss. The once mighty dinosaurs and SCP-682 had given their all in the battle, and now they lay together in silence, a testament to the fierce intensity of their conflict. And as the sun began to set on the prehistoric landscape, a new era dawned, one without the presence of these powerful beings. The world moved on, but the memory of the epic battle between the purple-eyed theropod duo and SCP-682 would live on in the annals of history, a tale of bravery, power, and ultimate sacrifice. Words. 502. In the aftermath of the epic battle between the fire-breathing theropod duo and SCP-682, a group of scientists from the SCP Foundation arrived at the scene to assess the situation. Dr. Williams, the lead researcher, cautiously approached the motionless bodies of the dinosaurs and the infamous SCP entity. As she carefully examined the creatures, she noticed something strange. The bodies of the Giganotosaurus and Carcharodontosaurus were slowly disintegrating, as if they were fading away into nothingness. The purple glow that once emanated from their eyes had completely vanished, leaving behind only lifeless husks. Dr. Williams turned her attention to SCP-682, expecting to see a similar fate befalling the notorious creature. However, to her surprise, the massive reptile began to stir. Its body convulsed as it slowly rose to its feet, its eyes fixed on the researchers. By the gods, it's still alive! Exclaimed one of the scientists, his voice trembling with fear. Dr. Williams knew they had to act quickly before SCP-682 could regain its strength and wreak havoc once again. She instructed her team to prepare the containment unit and initiate the necessary procedures to capture the creature. As the scientists worked frantically to secure SCP-682, the creature let out a deafening roar that shook the ground beneath them. Its green eyes glowed with a renewed fury as it struggled against its restraints. Stay calm, everyone. Dr. Williams ordered, trying to maintain control of the situation. We need to contain SCP-682 before it's too late. The researchers activated the containment unit, a massive metal cage that descended from above, encasing SCP-682 in its formidable grip. The creature thrashed and roared, its strength seemingly unmatched as it attempted to break free from its confines. Just as it seemed that SCP-682 would overpower the containment unit, a sudden burst of energy erupted from within the cage. The purple flames that had once engulfed the Giganotosaurus and Carcharodontosaurus now enveloped SCP-682, restraining it with an otherworldly power. The researchers watched in awe as the glowing flames held SCP-682 in place, preventing it from causing further destruction. Dr. Williams looked at the lifeless bodies of the dinosaurs, a sense of wonder and dread washing over her. What have we witnessed here today? She whispered to herself, her voice barely above a whisper. As the containment team secured SCP-682, drive. Williams couldn't help but feel a sense of unease. The events of that day had left her with more questions than answers, and she knew that the mysteries of the universe were far greater than anyone could ever imagine. And so, the tale of the fire-breathing theropod duo and SCP-682 would go down in history as one of the most extraordinary and enigmatic encounters of all time. As the scientists packed up their equipment and prepared to leave the site, they couldn't help but feel a sense of trepidation lingering in the air. For in the world of the SCP Foundation, the line between myth and reality was a fragile one, and the boundaries of what was possible were constantly shifting. And as they left the cratered landscape behind, the memory of the glowing purple eyes of the dinosaurs and the defiant roar of SCP-682 would forever haunt their dreams. Nico Bellic, a tough and sarcastic military protagonist from GTA 4, found himself inside the Iron Man armor, ready to face off against Aiden Pierce, a skilled hacker and fighter from Watch Dogs who was also donning his own Iron Man armor. The two characters met in an abandoned factory in Liberty City, their armored suits bristling with weapons as they prepared to battle it out. Nico, with his military fighting styles, clashed against the more strategic and agile combat skills of Aiden Pierce. Both armored characters unleashed their missiles, using the full potential of their technology to outmaneuver and outwit each other in the intense battle. Meanwhile, CJ, the humorous Grove Street gangsta from GTA San Andreas, Ezio Auditore from Assassin's Creed, Marvel's Daredevil, and DC's Nightwing also donned their Iron Man armor and joined the fight. Each character brought their own unique fighting styles to the clash, creating a chaotic and explosive battle as missiles flew and shockwaves reverberated through the abandoned factory. As the battle raged on, the armored warriors pushed themselves to their limits, launching themselves at each other and creating massive shockwaves with their collisions. The entire battlefield was in ruins as the armored characters fought fiercely, each refusing to back down. Ultimately, their final attacks caused all of them to be pushed back, each warrior heavily panting and exhausted. CJ, the first to speak, joked about needing a burger before all the armored characters collapsed on the ground, defeated and motionless. In a hospital, 5 other heavily injured characters, including Johnny Klebitz from GTA 4 Lost and Damned, Luis Lopez from GTA 4 Ballad of Gay Tony, Jin Kazama and Kazuya Mishima from the Tekken games, and Lord Shen from Kung Fu Panda 2, lay on hospital beds, recounting their own injuries. Suddenly, Max Payne from Max Payne 3, Tank Dempsey, and Connor from Detroit, Become Human appeared on hospital beds, their injured arms hanging on poles. They joined the injured characters in staring at the aquarium, which contained 4 terrifying purple-eyed corrupted apex sea creatures. The creatures, a corrupted orca, sperm whale, great white shark, and saltwater crocodile, swam with cosmic purple glowing eyes, fixating their gaze on the injured warriors. Chris Redfield from Resident Evil also appeared, his bandaged arm a testament to his relentless training regimen. As the injured warriors rested in the hospital, their wounds being tended to by medical staff, they knew that their battles were far from over. The threat of the corrupted sea creatures loomed large, and they would need to regroup and strategize if they were to stand a chance against such formidable foes. Despite their injuries and exhaustion, the armored warriors remained determined and united in their resolve to protect their city and defeat their enemies, no matter the cost. And as they rested and recovered, they knew that they would soon rise again to face whatever challenges lay ahead, stronger and more prepared than ever before. Words. It was a chaotic scene in the abandoned factory of Liberty City as Nico Bellic, clad in the Iron Man armor, came face to face with Aiden Pierce, also in his own Iron Man armor. The two characters, known for their skills in combat and hacking, were now pitted against each other in a battle of wits and strength. Nico, with his military background and sarcastic demeanor, wasted no time in unleashing a barrage of missiles from his armor towards Aiden. The skilled hacker, on the other hand, dodged the attacks with ease and retaliated with precision strikes of his own. The clash of their combat styles created a spectacle of sparks and explosions as the abandoned factory shook with the force of their battle. Meanwhile, CJ from Grove Street Gang, Ezio Auditore, Marvel's Daredevil, and DC's Nightwing all entered the fray, each in their own Iron Man armors. The 4 armored characters brought their unique fighting styles to the battlefield, adding to the chaos of the already intense confrontation. The clash of the armored warriors created shockwaves that reverberated through the entire battlefield, causing destruction all around them. As the battle raged on, the warriors continued to exchange blows and emit missiles at each other, pushing the limits of their armor's capabilities. Eventually, after a fierce exchange of attacks and counterblows, all the armored characters found themselves on their knees, exhausted and panting heavily. CJ, being his usual humorous self, expressed his need for a burger, which elicited tired chuckles from the other warriors. As the dust settled, the defeated armored characters lay motionless on the ground, their bodies battered and bruised from the intense battle. They were quickly rushed to the hospital for treatment, where they joined other injured warriors like Johnny Klebitz, Luis Lopez, Jin Kazama, Kazuya Mishima, and Lord Shen. Inside the hospital, as the injured warriors lay on their beds, Max Payne, Tank Dempsey, and Connor arrived, their injuries also requiring medical attention. The warriors exchanged tired sighs and groans as they shared stories of their encounters and injuries. But the most eerie presence in the hospital was the aquarium containing the 4 purple-eyed corrupted apex sea creatures. The creatures, with their cosmic purple glowing eyes, swam in the tank, their gaze fixed on the injured warriors as if they held some mysterious power over them. Chris Redfield, nursing his injured arm from punching rocks and boulders, joined the group of injured warriors, adding to the already eclectic mix of characters from different games and universes. And as Dutch van der Linde, John Marston, Devin Weston, Dmitry Raskolov, and Frank Tenpenny shared their own humorous accounts of their injuries, the hospital ward was filled with a sense of camaraderie among the warriors. Despite the pain and exhaustion they all felt, the warriors found solace in each other's company, knowing that they had faced unimaginable challenges and survived. As they looked towards the aquarium and the mysterious creatures within, a sense of unease lingered in the air, hinting at the possibility of even greater battles to come. And so, the injured warriors of different worlds and games found themselves united in their shared struggle, bound by their resilience and determination to overcome whatever challenges lay ahead. The battle may have been won, but the war was far from over. Words. 552. Nico Bellic, in his Iron Man armor, stood face to face with Aiden Pierce, also in his own armored suit. The abandoned factory in Liberty City echoed with the clash of metal as the two characters prepared to battle it out. As they unleashed their weapons, the echoes of gunfire filled the air, mixing with the whirring sounds of missiles being launched. Nico's military training made him a formidable opponent, his movements precise and calculated. Aiden, on the other hand, relied on his hacking skills and strategic thinking to outmaneuver his enemies. The two clashed, their armor emitting sparks as they collided with each other. Meanwhile, CJ, Ezio Auditore, Daredevil, and Nightwing also entered the fray, each bringing their own unique fighting styles to the battlefield. The air crackled with energy as the 4 armored warriors unleashed their attacks, creating a spectacle of destruction in the abandoned factory. As the battle raged on, shockwaves rippled through the battlefield, shaking the very foundations of the factory. The ground trembled beneath their feet as each warrior gave their all, pushing themselves to the limit in an effort to emerge victorious. But as the final blows were exchanged, all of the armored characters fell to their knees, exhausted and defeated. CJ, gasping for breath, managed to utter a tired request for a burger, his signature humor shining through even in the midst of battle. In the hospital, Johnny Klebitz, Luis Lopez, Jin Kazama, Kazuya Mishima, and Lord Shen lay on their beds, recovering from their injuries. Max Payne, Tank Dempsey, and Connor joined them, their limbs bandaged and hanging on poles as they stared blankly at the aquarium containing the corrupted apex sea creatures. As Chris Redfield entered with his injured arm, the room filled with even more injured characters, including Dutch van der Linde, John Marston, Devin Weston, Dmitry Raskolov, and Frank Tenpenny. Bantering and joking despite their injuries, the group of characters found solace in each other's company as they faced their long road to recovery. As the purple-eyed corrupted apex sea creatures swam silently in the aquarium, their cosmic gaze seemed to watch over the injured warriors, a silent reminder of the battles they had faced and the challenges that lay ahead. In the midst of pain and chaos, these unlikely allies found strength in each other, forging bonds that would carry them through the darkest of days. And as they looked ahead to the uncertain future, they knew that as long as they stood together, they could overcome any challenge that came their way. Words. As the dust settled in the abandoned factory of Liberty City, the 5 heavily injured characters lay motionless on their hospital beds. Johnny Klebitz groaned and joked about needing a burger, while the others exchanged tired banter about their injuries. Meanwhile, in the hospital corridor, Max Payne, Tank Dempsey, and Connor from Detroit, Become Human stood with their injured arms hanging on poles, watching the scene unfold. They were joined by Chris Redfield, who winced as he felt the pain in his injured arm from punching rocks and boulders. In another room, Dutch van der Linde, John Marston, Devin Weston, Dmitry Raskolov, and Frank Tenpenny also lay on hospital beds, their bodies covered in bandages from the day's events. Weston and Tenpenny cracked jokes about their injuries from getting their legs run over by bikes. Just then, Trevor Phillips, Arthur Morgan, and Joel Miller appeared in the corridor, standing with their arms crossed nonchalantly as they observed the chaos in the hospital. The room fell silent as the injured characters stared at the massive aquarium containing 4 purple-eyed corrupted apex sea creatures. The creatures, a corrupted orca, sperm whale, great white shark, and saltwater crocodile, swam with cosmic purple glowing eyes, their gaze fixed on the injured warriors. Suddenly, the air in the hospital room grew tense as a mysterious figure appeared at the doorway. It was none other than Nico Bellic, Aiden Pierce, CJ, Ezio Auditore, Marvel's Daredevil, and DC's Nightwing, the armored characters who had been locked in combat in the abandoned factory. "You all fought valiantly," Nico said, his voice gruff but filled with respect. "But it seems we are not the only ones facing a powerful enemy." As the injured characters stirred, Nico explained that they were all part of a larger battle against a greater threat. He revealed that the purple-eyed corrupted apex sea creatures were the harbingers of destruction, and they needed to unite their strength to defeat them. The room erupted into a flurry of whispers and murmurs as the injured characters processed the information. Max Payne, known for his quick thinking, suggested a plan of action to take down the corrupted sea creatures. Tank Dempsey, with his military training, proposed a strategy to attack them head-on. As the injured characters rallied together, a sense of determination filled the hospital room. They knew the road ahead would be perilous, but they also knew that with their combined strength and unique abilities, they stood a chance against the cosmic threat. With a nod from Nico, the group of warriors braced themselves for the battle to come. They would face the corrupted sea creatures head-on, knowing that their victory would not only save their world but also bring them one step closer to redemption. And so, the stage was set for an epic showdown between the injured warriors and the purple-eyed corrupted apex sea creatures. In the hospital room, a sense of unity and purpose filled the air as the warriors prepared to do whatever it takes to emerge victorious in the face of unimaginable odds. Words. The hospital room was filled with a tense atmosphere as the injured warriors from different worlds and games lay on their beds, their bodies covered in bandages and casts. They all stared at the massive aquarium in the corner of the room, where the 4 purple-eyed corrupted apex sea creatures swam ominously, their cosmic purple glowing eyes fixated on the warriors. Johnny Klebitz was the first to break the silence, groaning as he talked about getting into trouble with the cops and ending up with bandages on his head. The other injured characters chimed in, sharing their own stories of how they ended up in this hospital room, battered and broken from the day's events. As they exchanged tales of their misfortunes, Max Payne, Tank Dempsey, and Connor were wheeled into the room, their arms hanging on poles, their faces grim with pain. They joined the others, their eyes drawn to the eerie purple glow of the sea creatures in the aquarium. Just then, Chris Redfield walked in, his arm heavily bandaged from punching rocks and boulders. He winced in pain, feeling the strain on his knuckles from his relentless training. The room filled with a sense of camaraderie as the injured warriors bonded over their shared experiences of battle and hardship. Meanwhile, outside the hospital room, Trevor Phillips, Arthur Morgan, and Joel Miller stood in the corridor, their arms crossed as they listened to the sounds coming from within. They were fellow warriors from different worlds, brought together by a twist of fate that had landed them in this hospital wing. Inside the aquarium, the purple-eyed corrupted apex sea creatures continued to swim, their gaze unwavering as they observed the injured warriors in the room. The atmosphere was thick with tension, as if something ominous was about to happen. Suddenly, a loud noise echoed through the hospital wing, jolting the warriors from their thoughts. They looked around in alarm, wondering what could have caused the disturbance. As they glanced at each other in confusion, a figure appeared at the doorway, clad in a suit of iron armor. It was Niko Bellic, the tough and sarcastic protagonist from GTA 4, his eyes glowing with determination as he surveyed the room. The injured warriors recognized him immediately, their hearts pounding with a mixture of fear and excitement. Niko Bellic was a formidable opponent, known for his military fighting skills and quick wit. And now, he stood before them in his Iron Man armor, ready for battle. But Niko was not alone. Behind him, Aiden Pierce emerged, his own Iron Man armor shimmering in the dim light. A skilled hacker and fighter combined, Aiden Pierce exuded confidence as he faced off against Niko Bellic, the two armored figures poised for combat. The room crackled with tension as Niko and Aiden unleashed their weapons, the sounds of gunfire and explosions filling the air. The other warriors watched in awe as the two armored figures clashed, their battle IQ and combat styles on full display. Outside the hospital room, Trevor Phillips, Arthur Morgan, and Joel Miller exchanged knowing glances. They knew that their time would come to join the fray, to face off against the iron-clad warriors in a battle that would shake the very foundations of the hospital wing. As the clash between Niko Bellic and Aiden Pierce intensified, the other armored warriors in the room stirred, their eyes glinting with determination. They were ready to fight, ready to unleash their own unique fighting styles and abilities in the epic battle that lay ahead. And so, the stage was set for a showdown unlike any other. The injured warriors, united by their shared trials and hardships, prepared to face their toughest challenge yet as they stood on the brink of battle against the iron-clad warriors who had invaded their world. The hospital room hummed with anticipation, the air thick with the promise of conflict and adventure as the warriors readied themselves for the ultimate test of strength and skill. The hospital room was filled with injured and exhausted characters, all coming from different backgrounds and video game universes. As they laid on their beds, bandages covering their wounds, they exchanged stories of how they ended up in such a sorry state. Johnny Klebitz, the humorous biker from GTA 4 Lost and Damned, was the first to speak up. "Aw man, what a mess. I got into it with some cops, they shot my bike tires and I ended up with these head bandages." Luis Lopez from GTA 4 Ballad of Gay Tony chimed in, "I feel you, man. I was just trying to have a good time when things went south real quick." Jin Kazama and Kazuya Mishima, the father-son duo from Tekken Games, shared a glance before Jin spoke up. "Our family drama always seems to end in bloodshed. This time was no different." Lord Shen from Kung Fu Panda 2, his elegant voice strained with pain, added, "I should have known better than to mess with those pesky pandas. They really know how to put up a fight." Max Payne, Tank Dempsey, and Connor from Detroit Become Human each had their own tales of woe to tell. Max winced as he shifted his injured arm. "I thought I could handle anything, but those guys really packed a punch." Tank Dempsey chuckled, "I've taken on hordes of zombies, but these injuries are no joke. Maybe I should stick to the undead from now on." Connor, his expression as stoic as ever, simply said, "It was a long day. But we'll recover, as we always do." As they exchanged their stories, Chris Redfield entered the room, his arm in a sling from his intense training regimen. He winced as he settled onto his bed, joining the conversation. Just then, the room fell silent as the group noticed the aquarium in the corner of the room. Inside, four massive purple-eyed apex sea creatures swam lazily, their cosmic purple glowing eyes fixed on the injured warriors. The tension in the room grew as the injured characters realized they were being watched by these mysterious creatures. Trevor Phillips, Arthur Morgan, and Joel Miller stood in the doorway, arms crossed, observing the scene with keen interest. Suddenly, the room was filled with a sense of foreboding as the injured characters felt a surge of energy in the air. A voice echoed through the room, chilling them to the bone. "We have been watching you," the voice said, sending shivers down their spines. "You have all been chosen for a higher purpose. The fate of the multiverse lies in your hands." As the injured characters exchanged wary glances, they knew that their journey was far from over. They had faced many battles, but this new challenge would test their strength, courage, and unity like never before. And so, with a sense of determination in their hearts, the injured warriors prepared themselves for the next chapter in their interdimensional adventure, ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. Words 502. In the heart of Liberty City, a fierce battle was raging between two armored warriors, Niko Bellic from GTA 4 and Aiden Pierce from Watch Dogs. The abandoned factory echoed with the sound of metal clashing against metal as these two formidable fighters clashed with their advanced weapons and combat skills. Niko, the tough and sarcastic military protagonist from GTA 4, used his military training to his advantage, while Aiden, the skilled hacker and fighter from Watch Dogs, relied on his strategic mind and quick reflexes. The two armored characters were evenly matched, each trying to outwit the other in this intense showdown. Missiles flew from their armors, creating explosions that shook the very foundation of the factory. The battle raged on, with Niko and Aiden pushing themselves to their limits as they unleashed their full potential with the advanced technology of their armor. Meanwhile, in another part of the city, CJ, the humorous Grove Street gangsta from GTA San Andreas, Ezio Auditore from Assassin's Creed, Marvel's Daredevil, and DC's Nightwing were engaged in their own epic battle. Each armored character brought their own unique fighting style to the fight, creating a spectacle of martial arts and advanced weaponry. As the clash between the two sides escalated, shockwaves rippled through the abandoned factory, causing chaos and destruction all around. The ground trembled beneath the feet of the armored warriors as they continued to exchange blows and counterattacks in a fierce struggle for dominance. Finally, after a grueling battle that tested their strength and endurance, all of the armored characters found themselves on their knees, panting heavily from the exertion. CJ, ever the jokester, broke the tension with a quip about needing a burger, eliciting tired chuckles from the other warriors. But their respite was short-lived, as a new threat emerged in the form of 5 heavily injured characters: Johnny Klebitz, Luis Lopez, Jin Kazama, Kazuya Mishima, and Lord Shen. These warriors, now lying on hospital beds, recounted their own tales of injury and defeat, adding to the growing list of casualties. As they lay in the hospital, nursing their wounds, a strange and ominous presence filled the room. In a nearby aquarium, 4 purple-eyed corrupted apex sea creatures swam menacingly, their glowing eyes fixed on the injured warriors with an eerie intensity. The arrival of new injured characters, Max Payne, Tank Dempsey, and Connor, only added to the sense of foreboding in the hospital. With their injuries on display, these warriors stood united in their determination to heal and return to the fight. And as more familiar faces appeared, Chris Redfield, Dutch van der Linde, John Marston, Devin Weston, Dmitry Raskolov, and Frank Tenpenny, the gravity of the situation became clear. These warriors were not alone in their struggles, and the threat of the corrupted apex sea creatures loomed large over them all. With the addition of Trevor Phillips, Arthur Morgan, and Joel Miller to the mix, the stage was set for a final showdown against the forces of darkness that threatened to consume them all. As they stood united in the face of adversity, these warriors knew that only together could they hope to overcome the challenges that lay ahead. And so, the battle for Liberty City raged on, with each warrior prepared to fight to the bitter end in a struggle for survival and victory. The fate of the city and its inhabitants hung in the balance, and only time would tell if these armored warriors had what it took to emerge victorious in the face of overwhelming odds. The sound of heavy footsteps echoed through the abandoned factory in Liberty City as Nico Bellic, clad in his Iron Man armor, stood face to face with Aiden Pierce, also armored up and ready for battle. Nico smirked behind his helmet. "Looks like we're in for a good fight, Pierce." Aiden raised an eyebrow. "You may be tough, Bellic, but don't underestimate my skills. I've got a few tricks up my sleeve." With that, the 2 armored warriors launched themselves at each other, weapons at the ready. Nico's military training clashed with Aiden's hacking abilities and hand-to-hand combat skills, creating a chaotic flurry of strikes and counters. As missiles and bullets flew between them, the abandoned factory shook with the force of their battle. The shockwaves from their clashes rocked the very foundation of the building, dust and debris raining down around them. Meanwhile, CJ, Ezio Auditore, Daredevil, and Nightwing also engaged in their own armored battle, each bringing their own unique fighting styles to the mix. The sound of metal clashing echoed through the factory as they exchanged blows, the sheer force of their attacks creating shockwaves of their own. But as the battles raged on, it became clear that neither side was willing to give up. With every attack, every counterblow, they pushed themselves to their limits, determined to emerge victorious. Finally, after a particularly devastating clash, all of the armored warriors found themselves panting heavily, the factory in ruins around them. CJ, struggling to catch his breath, managed to crack a tired joke. "I need a burger now. I think." Ezio and the others chuckled weakly, each of them giving their own tired replies before collapsing to the ground, defeated and motionless. In a hospital on the other side of the city, Johnny Klebitz, Luis Lopez, Jin Kazama, Kazuya Mishima, and Lord Shen lay on their beds, their injuries from the battle visible even under the bandages. Max Payne, Tank Dempsey, and Connor joined them, their own injuries testament to the intensity of the fights they had endured. As they lay there, staring at the aquarium filled with the cosmic purple-eyed sea creatures, Chris Redfield appeared, his injured arm a painful reminder of his own struggles. Dutch van der Linde, John Marston, Devin Weston, Dmitry Raskolov, and Frank Tenpenny all joined them, their injuries a testament to the dangers they faced. Trevor Phillips, Arthur Morgan, and Joel Miller stood in the corridor, arms crossed as they surveyed the scene before them. Each of them knew the risks of their lifestyle, but they also knew that they wouldn't back down from a fight. As the dust settled and the battles came to an end, the armored warriors and injured veterans knew one thing for certain: they would always rise to the challenge, no matter the cost. And as they lay there, together in their shared struggle, a sense of camaraderie and respect grew between them, binding them together in a bond that would never be broken. The room was filled with heavy panting as the sound of machines beeped in the background. Johnny Klebitz, his head wrapped in bandages, sighed tiredly as he looked around at the other injured characters lying in hospital beds. Luis Lopez, his arm in a cast, chuckled softly. "Looks like we all got into a bit of trouble, huh?" Jin Kazama, his leg wrapped in a brace, nodded in agreement. "It seems we all ended up here one way or another." Kazuya Mishima, his arm in a sling, grunted in response. "I should have seen that attack coming. I let my guard down." Lord Shen, his feathers ruffled and injured, let out a sigh. "I underestimated my opponents. I paid the price for it." Just then, Max Payne entered the room, his arm in a sling. "Well, looks like we all got our fair share of injuries. But we fought valiantly out there." Tank Dempsey, his arm wrapped in bandages, smirked. "Yeah, we gave 'em hell out there. Too bad we ended up like this." Connor, his injured arm hanging by his side, nodded. "We did our best. It was a tough battle, but we held our ground." As the injured characters bantered back and forth, a sense of camaraderie filled the room. Despite their injuries, they knew they had fought bravely and had given it their all in the battle against the corrupted apex creatures. Just then, Chris Redfield entered the room, his injured arm heavily bandaged. He winced as he felt the pain shoot through his knuckles from constantly punching rocks and boulders. "Looks like I overdid it a bit," Chris muttered, his voice strained. The room fell silent as the injured characters looked at each other, a sense of respect and admiration in their eyes. They may have been defeated and injured, but they knew they had fought with all their might and had given it their all. As they lay in their hospital beds, staring at the aquarium containing the purple-eyed corrupted apex sea creatures, a sense of unease washed over them. The creatures swam gracefully in the tank, their cosmic purple glowing eyes sending chills down their spines. But despite the lingering sense of dread, the injured characters knew they had each other for support. They may have been battered and bruised, but they were united in their fight against evil. As they closed their eyes, the sound of machines beeping in the background, they knew that they would rise again, stronger and more determined than ever before. The battle may have been lost, but the war was far from over. And they were ready to face whatever challenges came their way, together. Words. Nico Bellic. What the hell is Aiden Pierce doing here? And why is he wearing that Iron Man armor? Aiden Pierce. You're one to talk, Nico. What's with the armor? Nico Bellic. Just trying to stay alive in this crazy world. But I can see you have other plans. Aiden Pierce. You bet I do. Let's see what you're made of, tough guy. Nico Bellic. Bring it on, Pierce. Meanwhile, CJ, Ezio Auditore, Daredevil, and Nightwing also gear up in their armor and join the battle. CJ. Yo, what's going on here? I just wanted a burger. Ezio Auditore. Stay focused, my friends. We have a battle to win. Daredevil. Let's show them what justice looks like. Nightwing. Time to take down these villains. The four armored warriors clash with each other, using their unique fighting styles and weapons to gain the upper hand. The abandoned factory shakes with the force of their blows, creating shockwaves that reverberate throughout the battlefield. CJ, this is insane. I just want my burger. Ezio Auditore, keep fighting, my friends. We must defeat our enemies. Daredevil, they won't know what hit them. Nightwing, let's show them the power of justice. The battle rages on, with each warrior unleashing their full potential and technology from their armor. Missiles, energy blasts, and melee attacks fill the air as the warriors fight for dominance. CJ, I think I need a break, and that burger. Ezio Auditore, stay strong, my friend. Victory is within reach. Daredevil, we can do this. Just keep pushing forward. Nightwing, don't give up now. We can win this battle. Suddenly, a massive collision between all the armored warriors sends them flying back, heavily panting and exhausted. They slowly get up, staring at each other with a newfound respect. CJ, that was intense. I need that burger now more than ever. Ezio Auditore, a hard-fought battle, my friends. But we emerged victorious. Daredevil, we showed them what justice looks like. Nightwing, let's rest up and prepare for the next challenge. As they all collapse on the ground, defeated and motionless, they find themselves waking up in a hospital bed, surrounded by injured warriors like Johnny Klebitz, Luis Lopez, Jin Kazama, Kazuya Mishima, and Lord Shen. Johnny Klebitz, what a mess. I just wanted to ride my bike. Max Payne, looks like we all got into some trouble. Tank Dempsey, but we're still standing. That's what matters. Connor, we fought hard, and we'll fight again. As they all observe the four purple-eyed corrupted apex sea creatures swimming in the aquarium, Chris Redfield joins them with his injured arm. Chris Redfield, another battle won, but more to come. We'll be ready. The injured warriors share a nod of determination, knowing that their fight is far from over. Words. 461. Nico Bellic, grunting, this armor is amazing. Can't believe I'm facing off against Aiden Pierce in a battle like this. Aiden Pierce, smirking, you may be tough, Nico, but you've never faced someone like me. Nico Bellic, smirking sarcastically, oh, I've faced worse than you, Pierce. Let's see what you've got. Aiden Pierce, activating his weapons, let's do this. The two armored characters clashed, their weapons colliding in a flurry of sparks and shockwaves. Missiles were fired, creating explosions that rocked the abandoned factory they were in. Nico's military fighting skills clashed against Aiden's more tactical approach, each trying to outsmart the other in the fierce battle. Meanwhile, CJ, Ezio Auditore, Daredevil, and Nightwing were locked in their own battle, their armored suits showcasing their unique fighting styles. CJ's humor shone through even in the midst of battle as he cracked jokes while trading blows with the others. The clash of different combat styles and abilities created a chaotic scene of destruction within the factory. As the battle raged on, the shockwaves from the clashes of the armored characters shook the entire battlefield, causing the structure to crumble around them. Despite the intensity of the battle, none of the warriors showed signs of backing down, each determined to emerge victorious. After a particularly fierce clash, all the armored characters found themselves on their knees, panting heavily from the exertion. CJ, ever the jokester, broke the tense silence by mentioning his need for a burger, drawing tired chuckles from the others. The warriors slowly got back on their feet, launching themselves at each other once more in a final, desperate attack. The force of their collision sent them flying back, their armored suits damaged and their bodies exhausted from the relentless battle. As they lay defeated and motionless on the ground, a new group of injured characters appeared in the hospital, recounting their own tales of chaos and destruction. Johnny Klebitz and the other injured characters shared their experiences of the battles they had faced, each nursing their wounds and reflecting on the challenges they had overcome. As they stared at the aquarium containing the mysterious purple-eyed sea creatures, a sense of unease settled over them, hinting at the greater dangers that lay ahead. Chris Redfield joined the group, his bandaged arm a testament to the trials he had faced in his own battles. As they all lay in the hospital, their bodies battered and bruised, a sense of camaraderie formed among them, united by their shared experiences and the knowledge that they had all faced the darkness and emerged stronger for it. The final showdown may have ended in defeat for some, but for these warriors, the true battle had only just begun. As they recovered from their injuries and prepared for the challenges that lay ahead, they knew that they would face them together, stronger and more determined than ever before. And as they looked to the future with renewed hope and determination, they were ready to face whatever challenges came their way, knowing that they would emerge victorious once more. Words. 500. As the injured characters lie in the hospital beds, Max Payne speaks up. What the hell is going on here? How did we all end up like this? Tank Dempsey, with his characteristic gruff voice, replies, I don't know, but one thing's for sure, we got our asses handed to us by those armored freaks. Connor, the android from Detroit, become human, chimes in, indeed. It seems we were ill-prepared for the battle that ensued. But what were those creatures in the aquarium? They seemed otherworldly. Johnny Klebitz, who is known for his sarcasm, groans, I don't know about you guys, but I could really go for that burger CJ was talking about earlier. My head is killing me. Just then, Chris Redfield walks over to the aquarium and gazes at the purple-eyed creatures swimming gracefully inside. Those are apex predators, but there's something strange about them. They seem to be under some sort of influence, a dark force controlling them. Luis Lopez, who is known for his street-smart attitude, nods, I heard rumors of a secret organization experimenting with genetic modification on marine animals. Could these creatures be a result of their twisted experiments? Jin Kazama, the stoic fighter from Tekken, looks thoughtful, it is possible. We must investigate further to uncover the truth behind this mystery. Our lives may depend on it. As the injured warriors discuss their next course of action, Lord Shen, the cunning peacock from Kung Fu Panda 2, speaks up, we must unite our strengths and skills to defeat this common enemy. Together, we stand a chance against whatever dark forces are at play. Max Payne, ever the brooding anti-hero, nods in agreement, we may have been defeated individually, but together, we can overcome any obstacle. Let's get ready for the fight of our lives. And so, the group of injured warriors band together, forming an unlikely alliance to face the looming threat of the armored figures and the corrupted apex sea creatures. In a race against time, they must unravel the secrets of the dark organization behind the experiments and put an end to their sinister plans before it's too late. With each warrior bringing their own unique skills and strengths to the table, they embark on a thrilling and dangerous journey that will test their limits and push them to the brink. But with determination, teamwork, and a touch of humor, they just might have a fighting chance to emerge victorious in the ultimate battle for survival. Words. 400. It was a chaotic scene at the abandoned factory in Liberty City, as Nico Bellic and Aiden Pierce, both clad in Iron Man armor, faced off against each other. The tension in the air was palpable as the two characters, each with their own unique combat styles, prepared to unleash their full potential. Nico, the tough and sarcastic military protagonist from GTA 4, wasted no time in utilizing his military fighting techniques. His movements were swift and precise, a testament to his years of training and experience. On the other hand, Aiden Pierce, known for his stealthy tactics in Watch Dogs, displayed a more calculated approach to the battle. His movements were fluid and deliberate, as he carefully assessed his opponent's every move. As the two armored characters clashed, the sound of metal on metal echoed throughout the abandoned factory. Missiles were fired, shockwaves were unleashed, and the battlefield was soon engulfed in chaos. The clash of their weapons created a spectacle of lights and explosions, drawing the attention of CJ, Ezio Auditore, Daredevil, and Nightwing, who had also donned their own Iron Man armor and entered the fray. The battle raged on, with each armored character showcasing their own unique fighting styles and abilities. CJ's humorous banter provided a brief moment of levity amidst the chaos, as the fighters pushed themselves to their limits. However, as the battle neared its climax, all the armored warriors found themselves on their knees, exhausted and panting heavily. Meanwhile, in the hospital, another group of injured characters lay in their beds. Johnny Klebitz, Luis Lopez, Jin Kazama, Kazuya Mishima, and Lord Shen all bore the scars of their own battles. Their injuries served as a stark reminder of the dangers they faced in their line of work. Just then, Max Payne, Tank Dempsey, and Connor entered the hospital, each with their own injuries to show for their efforts. The room was filled with a sense of camaraderie as the injured characters exchanged tired greetings and shared stories of their respective battles. However, their attention was soon drawn to the massive aquarium in the corner of the room, which housed 4 corrupted apex sea creatures with glowing purple eyes. The sight of the cosmic purple-eyed sea creatures sent a chill down their spines, as they realized that their battles were far from over. The mysterious creatures added a new layer of intrigue to the already tense atmosphere, leaving the characters to wonder what other challenges awaited them in the future. As the injured characters lay in their hospital beds, staring at the aquarium in confusion and apprehension, they knew that they would need to band together once again to face whatever dangers lay ahead. The thrill of the unknown hung in the air, leaving them with a sense of anticipation for the next chapter in their interconnected lives. Words. 474. Nico Bellic, looking at Aiden Pierce. Well, look who we have here. Fancy meeting you in this abandoned factory, Pierce. Aiden Pierce, smirking. Nico Bellic, the tough guy from Liberty City. I must say, I'm impressed by your Iron Man armor. But it won't save you from me. Nico Bellic, sarcastically. Oh, I'm shaking in my boots. Let's see what you've got, Pierce. Aiden Pierce and Nico Bellic both activate their armor weapons and start firing at each other, creating a chaotic battle scene. Aiden Pierce, dodging Nico's attacks. Your military training won't save you now, Bellic. I've got a few tricks up my sleeves. Nico Bellic, grinning. Bring it on, Pierce. Let's see if you can handle my combat skills. As the battle between Nico Bellic and Aiden Pierce intensifies, CJ, Ezio Auditore, Marvel's Daredevil, and DC's Nightwing enter the scene, each clad in their own Iron Man armor. CJ, cracking a joke, looks like we've got ourselves a little party here. Who's ready to dance? Ezio Auditore, calmly, let's focus on the task at hand, gentlemen. We need to work together to take down our opponents. Daredevil and Nightwing nod in agreement, and the four armored characters join the battle, adding to the chaos and destruction. During the intense battle, shockwaves are emitted from the clashes of weapons and combat styles, shaking the entire abandoned factory. Max Payne, Tank Dempsey, and Connor, all heavily injured, watch the battle unfold from their hospital beds. Max Payne, gritting his teeth, looks like things are getting out of hand. We need to find a way to stop this madness. Tank Dempsey, clenching his fists, I can't just sit here and do nothing. We need to join the fight and put an end to this chaos. Connor, analyzing the situation, it seems like the root of this conflict lies beyond these armored characters. We need to uncover the truth behind their motives. As the battle rages on, the armored characters push themselves to their limits, unleashing powerful attacks and counterblows. After a final devastating attack, all the armored characters collapse on the ground, defeated and exhausted, but still alive. Johnny Klebitz, gasping for air, I could use that burger now. I think I earned it. All the injured characters in the hospital exchange tired banter as they watch the chaos unfold. Meanwhile, the purple-eyed corrupted apex sea creatures in the aquarium glow ominously, their presence foreboding an impending danger that looms over the city. The story ends with a cliffhanger, leaving the readers wondering about the fate of the characters and the mysterious creatures lurking in the shadows. Words. 4. Nico Bellic stood in the abandoned factory, his Iron Man armor gleaming in the dim light. He clenched his fists, ready for a fight as he spotted Aiden Pierce in his own Iron Man armor approaching him. Aiden Pierce, what are you doing here? Nico growled, his voice muffled by the metallic helmet. I'm here to take you down, Bellic. You've caused enough trouble in this city, Aiden replied, his tone cold and calculating. The two armored warriors clashed, their combat styles contrasting sharply. Nico's military training clashed with Aiden's more agile movements, creating a dynamic battle of weapons and wits. As missiles flew and shockwaves shook the factory, CJ, Ezio Auditore, Daredevil, and Nightwing also joined the fray, their armored forms adding to the chaos. The clash of different fighting styles and abilities created a thrilling spectacle of combat. But as the battle raged on, it became clear that none of the warriors would emerge unscathed. In the hospital, Johnny Klebitz, Luis Lopez, Jin Kazama, Kazuya Mishima, and Lord Shen lay injured, their bodies battered from the intense battle. We really got ourselves into a mess this time, Johnny groaned, his voice laced with exhaustion. As Max Payne, Tank Dempsey, and Connor joined the injured warriors in the hospital, they watched in awe as four corrupted apex sea creatures swam gracefully in the aquarium, their purple eyes glowing ominously. The tension in the hospital room was palpable as the injured warriors and newcomers exchanged glances, their thoughts racing with the events that had transpired. We need to put aside our differences and work together to defeat whatever threat is out there, Max Payne spoke up, his voice firm and determined. The injured warriors nodded in agreement, a sense of camaraderie forming among them despite their differences. As they prepared to face the unknown threat looming over the city, a sense of unity and purpose filled the hospital room, binding them together in their fight against the darkness that threatened to engulf them all. And so, the stage was set for their next battle, where they would stand united against whatever dangers awaited them, their resolve unshakable as they faced the challenges ahead with courage and determination. Words. 367. Nico Bellic, you think you can take me down, Pierce? You've got another thing coming. Aiden Pierce, ha, you think you can outsmart me, Bellic? I've got tricks up my sleeve you haven't even seen yet. Nico Bellic, bring it on, Pierce. Let's see what you've got. Aiden Pierce and Nico Bellic clash in a flurry of punches and kicks, their Iron Man armor sending sparks flying as they battle it out in the abandoned factory. The sound of their weapons firing echoes through the building as they both showcase their combat skills. Aiden Pierce, not bad, Bellic. But let's see how you handle this. Aiden Pierce unleashes a barrage of missiles from his armor, causing the ground to shake and debris to fly everywhere. Nico Bellic retaliates with his own set of missiles, causing a massive explosion that sends both characters flying backwards. Nico Bellic, is that all you've got, Pierce? I thought you were supposed to be tough. Aiden Pierce, you haven't seen anything yet, Bellic. Let's ramp up the intensity. As they continue to clash, CJ, Ezio Auditore, Marvel's Daredevil, and DC's Nightwing enter the fray, each bringing their own unique fighting styles to the battle. The abandoned factory trembles with the force of their clashes as shockwaves ripple through the air. CJ, man, this is getting crazy. I need a burger after this. Ezio Auditore, the thrill of battle. I live for moments like this. Marvel's Daredevil, we can't let them get the best of us. Stay focused, everyone. DC's Nightwing, agreed. Let's take them down together. As the battle rages on, the armored warriors push themselves to their limits, unleashing their most powerful attacks and strategies. The sound of metal clashing fills the air as they fight tooth and nail for victory. At the hospital, Johnny Klebitz, Luis Lopez, Jin Kazama, Kazuya Mishima, and Lord Shen lie on hospital beds, nursing their injuries and exchanging banter about their misadventures. Johnny Klebitz, man, what a mess. I never thought I'd end up here. Luis Lopez, tell me about it. These cops are ruthless. Jin Kazama, this is nothing compared to the battles we faced. Kazuya Mishima, agreed. We will rise again, stronger than before. Lord Shen, we must remain united in the face of adversity. Our strength lies in our unity. Just then, Max Payne, Tank Dempsey, and Connor joined the group of injured warriors, their arms in slings as they gaze at the mysterious aquarium filled with purple-eyed apex sea creatures. Max Payne, what in the world are those things? They give me the chills. Tank Dempsey, I've never seen anything like it. They're giving off some serious bad vibes. Connor, we must remain vigilant. These creatures pose a threat we have yet to understand. As the injured warriors contemplate the strange creatures in the aquarium, a sense of unease washes over them. Little do they know, a new danger is lurking in the shadows, waiting to strike. Words, 494. It was a cold, dark night in Liberty City as the abandoned factory loomed in the distance. Niko Bellic, the tough and sarcastic protagonist from GTA 4, stood inside his Iron Man armor, ready for battle. Suddenly, he heard a noise behind him and turned to see Aiden Pierce from Watch Dogs also in his Iron Man armor. Niko narrowed his eyes at Aiden, sizing up his opponent. Well. Looks like we've got ourselves a little showdown here, Pierce. Aiden smirked, his expression hidden behind the mask of his armor. You're out of your league, Bellic. I've got tricks up my sleeve you can't even imagine. Niko chuckled. We'll see about that. Let's dance, Pierce. As the two armored characters faced off, they began to unleash a barrage of weapons from their suits. Missiles flew through the air, explosions lighting up the abandoned factory like fireworks. Niko's military fighting style clashed against Aiden's more street-savvy tactics, creating a mesmerizing display of combat prowess. Meanwhile, in another corner of the factory, CJ, the humorous Grove Street gangsta from GTA Saw, Ezio Auditore from Assassin's Creed, Marvel's Daredevil, and DC's Nightwing all stood in their own Iron Man armor. The four warriors locked eyes and began to engage in their own fierce battle, each utilizing their unique fighting styles to gain the upper hand. As the clashes reverberated through the factory, shockwaves erupted from the collisions of the armored warriors. The ground shook beneath their feet, the air crackling with energy as they continued to unleash their fury upon each other. Suddenly, a final, devastating attack caused all of the armored characters to stagger back, gasping for breath. They stood panting, staring at each other in a momentary ceasefire before collapsing to the ground, defeated and motionless. Inside the hospital, the heavily injured characters like Johnny Klebitz, Luis Lopez, Jin Kazama, Kazuya Mishima, and Lord Shen lay on hospital beds, their legs propped up as they recounted their battles. Johnny groaned humorously, "Man, what a mess. Cops shot my bike tires, and now I've got head bandages to match." The other injured characters chuckled tiredly, sharing their own stories of the chaotic battles they had just endured. As the night wore on, the sounds of distant sirens filled the air, signaling the end of the epic showdown between the armored warriors. The abandoned factory lay in ruins, a testament to the fierce clashes that had taken place within its walls. And as the sun began to rise over Liberty City, the brave warriors knew that their battles were far from over. But for now, they rested, their bodies weary but their spirits unbroken, ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead in this thrilling world of armored combat. Words, 457. In the abandoned factory of Liberty City, the air was thick with tension as the four armored warriors faced off against each other. Niko Bellic, clad in his Iron Man armor, stood tall and ready, his military background evident in the way he carried himself. Beside him, Aiden Pierce, from Watch Dogs, exuded a sense of calm confidence, his own armor sleek and sophisticated. As the battle began, the clash of combat styles was evident. Niko's straightforward, aggressive approach clashed with Aiden's more tactical, calculated movements. Each blow and counterblow sent shockwaves through the air, shaking the very foundation of the factory. But they weren't alone in this fight. CJ, the humorous Grove Street gangsta from GTA Saw, brought a sense of levity to the battle, even as he unleashed devastating attacks. Ezio Auditore, the master assassin from Assassin's Creed, moved with grace and precision, his armor a blend of ancient design and modern technology. Marvel's Daredevil and DC's Nightwing added a touch of superhero flair to the mix, their own unique fighting styles blending seamlessly with the others. Missiles were launched, energy beams fired, and the clash of metal on metal reverberated through the air. The warriors pushed themselves to their limits, each fighting for their own reasons, but all determined to come out on top. As the battle reached its climax, a final, devastating attack rocked the battlefield. The shockwave sent all four warriors flying back, their armor smoking and sparking from the intensity of the clash. Panting heavily, they stood their ground, each unwilling to show weakness in the face of their opponents. It was CJ who broke the tense silence, his voice exhausted but laced with humor. "I need burger now, I think," he gasped between breaths. The others chuckled weakly, their own responses filled with exhaustion and determination. But as they stood there, on the brink of defeat, a sense of camaraderie filled the air. Despite the fierce battle that had just taken place, they all knew that they had pushed each other to their limits, and that in itself was a victory. And so, with one final nod of respect, the armored warriors collapsed, defeated but unbroken. The abandoned factory of Liberty City stood silent once more, the echoes of their battle fading into the night.